Ndị anyị keduno ọmụ bụ nwada Chikachukwu si Abuja wee na-ewetala unu ezigbo okwu anyị kwadola ikwu taa na Voice of the East TV. I'm here with a very special guest and we're about to delve into a very insightful and hopefully impactful conversation surrounding the underdevelopment our eastern states continue to face in this current climate. Now we're diving right into it. I'm about to introduce you to our guests. Odogunwoke Katalaro, Bonyamunia Nebata. Afaya Budani Sukri on Azafandina Ndochan on Atutonansi, Mana Ngarapia, Kokowalani, Amakonwe, Kokwanyafia, Wakwananyonye Bobu, Ihoneme, Ngwakai Matazionya in Yakwadulipa and Katatata. Odogu? No,
Dubai, Ekelemono. Afambo Daniel Chigozerem Nwaboso. I'm on your Mahia. I'm on your local Umwaya South from Abia State.
Kefi na eme.
Album broadcast journalist and Marona radio station na Abuja. Alana Mwai and Chigozerem with one beautiful daughter.
When they took off, I'm here to look after. Odoguke, which is lechizu. Oh, no, ka gwakwa gị no. So maka nkata ikwadoli kpata bụ ezigbo nnukwu ihe maka ihe metụtala anyị bụ ndị Igbo. Ajụjụ m chọrọ ịjụ gị kịta bụ kedu ihe ọ dị gị ka ọnyanwa bịa kpata na ndịdaba anyị our eastern states aka emepere ọfụma ka more developed states dịka Lagos, Abuja ebe anyị nọ kịta. Otega aka anyị nọ Abuja bụ the fairly new compared to Imago anyị nwa ama m na ebe anyị nọ kịta bụ capital city mana ndị Igbo chizule echizu yọta ọpụta n'ihe a na-eme oyi kpata ego oyi ime business oyi ime ọfụma anyị na-eme ọfụma mana ị na-aba anyị ọ dịka anyị amachara ife anyị na-eme ka onye ọ dịghị ka onye nwa ka ọ dịle iwebata ya bụ mmepe ya bụ development and ka ihe ọ dịkwa ka oge ka ihe ọ dị gị konya akpata na anya ka emepere ọfụma ka isi wee kwesị ibu.
Okay, ajụjụ a dị very very broad because ihe anyị na-ele maka ndị Southeast bụ ihe wetere that we have not as developed as we should be. Onwe asụsụ ndị Southeast ha na-ekwu Igbo nwere eze and that statement may affect greatly. Now, in the course of my conversation, I go back to that statement.
Okay.
First off, in the structure of the Southeast, the Southeast were a lot of federal presence, and the lack of federal presence, made that some development by default and now being at the Southeast, and there's something responsible for that. It's responsible now. The Southeast are able together see okay on kai on ya ne leader on ya leader so that can rally around that person, can not behind that person, so that all ya gonna cool okay on here Southeast need at this time or part time. Let me give you an example. In a seaport non Lagos. That is just only one seaport non Lagos. Aingwa ourselves the truth. Over 60% of the name import things na apapa bu ndibo. Why is it that Aingwa seaport either in Onitsha or in Port Harcourt or in Delta? Mgbe Goodluck bụ president, mgbe Buhari bụ president, Buhari si na ọ chọrọ dredge the second Niger bridge. That is, ọ chọrọ build the second Niger bridge. So ọ chọrọ dredge one river so that they will now probably work on it. Oneme, anyị che na okay, new leader abịa ka ọ continue the project. Because he can't go emepo any seaport na Igbo, be it Port Harcourt or be it Delta or be it any of the 5 southeastern states, they need 2 years. If we mean that entire region you will be surprised. Ihuna, the entire Igbo landscape, the entire southeastern states. First off, the Igbo man like he called this self-sufficient. The Igbo man is self-sufficient by default. The Igbo man ane liar federal. The Igbo man ane liar federal money or national cake. Mba, the Igbo man natural problem dinner his locality. Cause solve that problem. Cause wake within call feed the way and his family. Only liar contract, only liar federal money, only liar national cake. Mba, the Igbo man is self-sufficient. So that attitude of being self-sufficient, on a good side, on a bad side, yeah. The bad side, Buna, again, anybody as important. Now, in the political landscape, on a normal day, the Igbos could say, okay, can I make alliance with one or two other regions of this country? Can an Igbo man at least change this country for once, at least after a long time? But you see, the fact that the Igbo man will keep guy here, can make business here, with income here, as only Zurumuya, pay his bills or chase or anybody, he doesn't care. He will face that and do it diligently. That is part of the issue with this. So it's not just a southeastern region thing, it's a southeasterner thing. Be it male or female, they are very industrious. We are very industrious, very hardworking. The bad side to that is that we may not necessarily look up to anybody for daily bread or depend on anybody. Instead, we are interdependent, or let's say we are intra-dependent on ourselves, on our little resources, on our needs, and it makes us to feel like, what am I going to do here? They are either Lagos or Abuja. Only a few number are due to federal civil service work. A larger part of them are for business, they are to mine the gold in that city. And you have another 5-10 years, they would break even and they will do very well.
So yeah, Anjugu kita ngagwa nkebe eziokwu kita bụ like mgbe izizi na this angle, right? Because what I check maka underdevelopment in our eastern states, we're quick to always point towards governance,
yes,
being the issue, corruption,
yes,
being the prime, reason why we continue to suffer in our eastern states.
Yes.
So do you think that is not a problem?
So it's a problem, and it's a problem for the first crop of, or the first kind of leaders we had when we moved into democracy. The first set of leaders the Southeast had, the first set of governors the Southeast had between 1999 and 2003 were a major problem. From Abia State, you will see it. You go to Ebonyi, you will see it. You go to Enugu, Imo, you will the first. Maybe Imo was a bit better. It was a bit better. Anambra had their fair share. The first crop of leaders the Southeast had after democracy was an issue. Because again, if other regions, anyway, governors forum, that region governors forum, which in a full the economic impact that forum name in that region. But if you are a label, and because maybe in the south they may, and the southeast in the southwest they may, do you understand? But again, I could actually ask ourselves questions. What can we do collectively to better our region? And I'm very hopeful that between now and the next election cycle, that the Southeastern governors would sit down and do something meaningful. Because two things I will tell you. Now, the exclusive list of the federal government, power has been removed. Railway has been removed. These are two aspects I expect the Southeastern governors to sit down and have a regional power generation company or have a regional train system. If the government will not bring train black and white to you, you guys sit down and figure it out, because we all have connecting routes. Let's sit down and look at things that are out of the federal government's exclusive list. That means they can do things on their own. Once it's out of the federal exclusive list, you don't need federal government's permission to do things on your own. It means they can do it on their own. Let them sit down and do it. Now, I wouldn't entirely blame federal government, because again, is how you give yourself to me that will treat you. To be very honest, and we haven't shown some level of I won't say togetherness. I would say willingness to attract federal government presence like we should. The Southeast, we haven't. So on the issue that you raised about corruption and mismanagement of funds, yes, I will give that to the first, maybe say the first two set of governors, class of governors that the Southeast had after democracy between 1999 to 2007. Other states might have gotten it right moving forward, but Abia State still suffered until the current governor came into power. Abia State, it was from one bad to worst, like that until so for example, Abia where some civil servants and some workers had to go 2 years. How were they surviving? Maybe didn't run a government, one in a business. So you won't really care. The house is moving. Somehow that is moving. So we won't even care, even if our leaders, in my job, we won't even care. Because maybe either the wife is doing business or the man is doing business, or there's one family business somewhere that we're just thriving and we're just trying to survive. So we won't care what those at the helms of power are doing with the resources. So it takes somebody with conscience. And I hope that whatever OT is doing, he will just keep doing it and do it very well. Because how do you go into Abia State University Teaching Hospital and it's looking like a forgotten building, and OT will maybe revamp the place, paint TFU equipment, and the next thing the staff in Ibakwa, they are all overjoyed. And I'm like, these are primary things: fan, AC, nice sitting arrangement, painted, a cleaner office. The staff in Ibakwa, and they say, man, this has not happened before. How does a friend of mine might receive a pension over 6 or 7 months pension? May I send the screenshot of the alert? The boy in Ibakwa. Because at least the relief it will do to him, the son, the little relief it will do to him. At least that money, I think it was about 1.4 million or so thereabout. He knows the relief it will do to that, to his mother. Him too will even breathe small, face other things. So you see, so yes, our leaders are part of it. Corruption, mismanagement of funds is also part of the problem.
So Odigika, Kita, no, just maintaining that train of thought. Odigika, the civil war when it happened and the circumstances surrounding it, Odigika, where any contribution towards how we have continued to fare as a people since the civil war?
Yes, that was even so. We had this attitude that I just said. We had it a bit before the civil war, but I think after the civil war, it's caricatured. When we knew that as a region, we were not annihilated, we were not wiped out. Anyone who has read about the civil war, some of us were not born, but thank God for history, and thank God we met. By God's grace, I met my great grandfather. I met my great grandmother as a man. So, and I'm one who digs deep and looks for history. Anyone who's read history would know that the Civil War was an unfair adventure. And the fact that the Igbo man survived, you see, what happened was, like they say, like in the what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. The Igbo Civil War came out in never 22 pounds or so. And a lot of them did that 20 pounds today build multi-billion naira industries as we speak. So, that kind of man, that a woman or mindset, it will make anybody to look at the center. So you see, yes, it affected because, yes, one would think that the Civil War took us back. But honestly, fortunately and unfortunately, the Southeast is not even the most backward region of this country. Look at results that come out from common entrance, from WAEC, from universities. The Southeast is not even. In my village, in Oloko, Ibata from Ayuku, the junction, in account to before you will not see BSc. Kai. Okay, because masters deal everywhere. Masters now is like the new BSc where I come from. So you just meanwhile, when we regions like this country, that BSc. In fact, I'm only buwani for a woman to have a BSc. Hey, her place. Meanwhile, her sisters and cousins name their PhD as we speak. Name thesis and so that's tell you that the Southeast has grown past the Civil War, and that has made the Southeast stronger, and has also lessened their dependence on anybody, not just the center, anybody at all.
I like that you mentioned the whole everybody's doing well. Education
At all.
I na aga akwụkwọ na-eme ọfụma. Mana ịna-anya ọtụtụ n'ime anyị bụ ndị Igbo. Ma ndị n'ime anyị too na Igbo land. Mụnwa abụ example. Eto m n'Enugu. Mana I got school. Mecha ihe niile anyị na-eme. Bulu akpa anyị. Move. Onye ọbụla wapụ ịghọta. Ọ dị ka oso n'ihe na-akpata na under development ka bụ ihe anyị na struggle with, because anyị gụcha anya bụ akwụkwọ mechaa ọfụma anyị ebulu ngwa anyị chọba ọlụ na another state ịghọta. Ọtụtụ n'ime anyị ada anọ be anyị nọlụ chọba ọlụ ebe a nke anyị nọlụ tinye isi ma ihe anyị ga-emenwu as a people for ourselves. So ọ dị ihe ha nkọ kịta na ọ dị ike oso n'ihe kpata na anyị ka na struggle with imepe obodo anyị ka o si wee kwesị dị.
Yes, because has in all the people that makes a land, or both the land that makes a people. Now, about in being industrious, being hardworking, or both just about the Anna, or about the individuals that have come out of that land. So that attribute ga anywhere. So only mana anywhere he does here.
Okay, more for
So and again, I won't want to use the word selfish, but like you wanna it on Enugu. If you go in your mind, it already breaking new grounds. That urge to want to do more, to want to break new grounds, to want to go higher. You make it have to that your current location and move. Now, they're not there. Honestly, they're also doing fine.
Very well.
Because whether it is work or business, they're also doing very, very fine. And when classmates, I met a mass come together. On a boy. And guess what? The girl, the very bright, no, a year my junior, the girl, the very bright, and she has risen today to become the chief press secretary to the first lady of Ebonyi State. So, I mean, if you look at them, whether they stay or they go, they excel. So I think that attitude of I don't really, it's not about the land, it's about me.
So, in the words of Ndoyibo, we need a little more loyalty to our place or to our identity, so to say, because I think that also is what drives the conversation of language. Ifo ọtụtụ n'ime anyị na-abụ anyị siba anyị pụọ anyị na-eme na ya macharozi asụsụ anyị mana ifo other tribes ha jiri asụsụ ha egwu egwu.
Yes.
Mana anyị nwa anyị mụọ nwa ọkadigodo anyị ịmago ị na-asụgodo oyibo ma na-asụcha Igbo ọ ha tozie ha ifo ka ha na-agba mbọ ịmụta ka ha tochago mana ndị ọzọ na-ebido na obele. So I think it also speaks to us having to be loyal to our people, like be loyal to our identity. I think a lot of Igbos, from what you're explaining, kind of, struggle with that.
Yes.
We love our tribe. To a certain degree, we have work to do, is what you're saying.
Yes.
All right. So let's move on. Can you go to the also? Here, development or the makana more and more. If like before, ọtụtụ n'ime anyị ada achọ ibi na the east. Ịghọta anyị mechaa anyị akwapụ chọba ebe anyị na-aga. Achọrọ m ịma ka ihe ọ dị ka ekwesị ime apart from government. Anyị hụrụ ihe nwa kwesị ime ịkọwagolo anyị ma go don't depend too much on the federal system, come together, figure it out as a people, within ourselves. But as ndị Igbo, ka ihe ọ dị ka anyị ga-emenwu to foster that development for our people and our place.
Okay, so first off, Imana, what you just said now, the reverse is the case actually of recent, because when we're here, na Lagos in the build-up of 2023 elections, and even pre and a bit of post, even recently, or when they post the Kandi Igbo have to Lagos, Igbo must go, and all of those things. And I think the Igbo that are residents outside Igbo land now food in need now to, even if it got better fully, they send some level of development down, because one day he got go low. And nigga, but when we him to low, one of the things my mother-in-law see in passing that Unibo, at some point they all retire, they like to retire home. I say, Bigo, only who likes to be in a strange land? No matter how this city is, somehow it's a strange land. Mpam now, since the exit of my mom, oh no, Abuja, 3 years, a few, I say, go home. His cousins now be home, his extended family, all those his peers now, they're in their mid-60s, late 60s, and I be home. No, I was trying to be careful, but no with me. I'm just I'm getting married, just being a father, no with me. Kanga kwado for you. No now, let me go so that things would have been in place. And it's a norm for us. But I think for those who are quite younger, for my generation, those a bit older and those a bit younger who are coming, there should be a deliberate plan and be a plan and action to think home, not just think home in the heart or in the mind. Think home even in our resources. I mean, there's a friend of mine, this Aba power plant, Bia. Price there, I think between 15 and 20 million. With that power plant, Bia, the guy with that land, 50 million non-negotiable. And when friends got that guy, actually Zudatana. So I think as we begin to move things back home, and then when we go to make development now, can also now go back home. Whatever it is that we do, can I call it deliberate? Because truth be that, you know, on Abuja, you know, on Port Harcourt, or you know, on Lagos, you know, anywhere, in na Lagos now. I know my questions about Lagos, but in the it's not normal that in the Madugi spend the millions, go on na certain line. You be one day see na or waterway or whatever. Are you saying that the process of documentation and the established companies? So are you saying you cannot go to CAC, trace these companies? Let's assume the companies did the wrong thing, prosecute them and let them pay for the damages, or the end buyer now give the whole cost. And majority of those people like to say that I'm assuming, but majority of those people when the only one guy info all be going to UK for how many years, saying they go down or just go do law 6-7 months. I be with tractor. But no plan B. So imagine Oga Oka or Niwi or Nicha or Asaba or anywhere go. Anything during my list, so let's sit down first, let's talk. You will find a way out. Even if I did the wrong thing, you will find a way out for me. So let's begin to think home. Not just, like you said, in our heart or in our, call it deliberate. Obana, Obu small business can just send you home. Call it very deliberate.
Maka the dream. For our future, bukwano. Ebe ga-abụ onye na-anata, ọma na-anata sọsọ ka ọ bịa fụ ndị be ha. Ọ na-anata maka na ọ ma na ezigbo ihe dị na ndịda. Ọ bụrụ just ka ị bịa nete mma gị, nete mkpa gị ka ị nabakwa. Ịbịa inetecha ha ịnọlụ gaalịa n'alị anya fụ ịmaga ebe niile amasapụ mma. That is our desire, and we hope that one day it will be a dream come to fruition.
Definitely.
Yes. So can you go to ihe ọzọ? Ịmaga anyị kwugo maka ihe anyị nwa ga-emenwu ka as individuals, citizens of the East. Tinye aka n'ihe ịmago idozi obodo anyị. Ka anyị wegakwa ya back to ndị na-achị anyị, ndị nọ na government, the governors, the legislators, everybody involved in governance. They have their part to play. Ikwugo inyego anyị ihe akwesị ime. Mana as a people, to now hold them accountable, because this attitude ikowago na ndị Igbo nwe about ọgbasachara m ya na-eme ha emebe so long as da mụ na ndị be m nọ mma ọgbasarozi m ihe ndị na-achị chọọ ime. So can you agwa anyị as a people to change? Like, how do we come out of that to hold our people accountable, you know, to a point where they know that they have to do this or there will be problem?
Okay, so first off, Ndi Moni, they change the attitude, their laid back attitude towards political and national issues. Ndi Moni, they na puta be answering election. Ndi Moni, the part of political structures. Let's not leave it for the few. Let's not leave it for that few among us that sees that it means to just enrich themselves. Ndị Igbo need deliberately come out. For example, Iga na Igbo during elections. Iga funa majority of us no. Whether nepa ni ayoku or not, I buy Jen, I take DSTV, I lay film or I take the television, I lay film or I babble, I want my we just relax. You know, mba, we need to be constructive, we need to be involved. Need to, and I mean, it's not about any political party. Anyone that you feel you can join in your locality, in your state, in your ward, join just so that Indibo not here. Let it be that we are choosing one amongst the two best, not not the lesser evil. But let's not get to a point where what we are doing, what we've been doing in Igbo land for the past 24 years have been choosing between the lesser evil. But let us have two good heads, and that we know that whichever way the ballot drops, it will favor the people. We that have our businesses, we that are raising families, we that are working hard to make ends meet. We need to be deliberate. One of these things my friends that I'm not my friends have decided to do now that I can change our voters card to the southeast, because again we're a bit comfortable and a bit we control our time to a reasonable extent. So wake up one day, and when it's time for election, I can take the entire week and me and my friends, we go to the southeast in our various places and let that vote count in the southeast. We need to start getting involved big time. If you're already, pick a card, 1 or 2 places, we need to start getting involved and put our heads down and be concerned about who the next leader would be or what the next political circle holds. We need to be concerned about it. It's not because, again, you got free and at this last protest. There was a time, I think, between the second quarter of this year, inflation was just going towards the middle of the year, and all lead to the protest made at 1st of August, 1st to 10th of August or so. Now, leave up of my father. I say, they were all, in fact, videos came out. They were all drinking, partying, marrying, and said it's a problem. Yeah, it's true. I mean, if you like, sell rice 150,000 a bag, it's not bragging. The Igbo man will afford it. Somehow he will afford it. Increase school fees, the Igbo man will afford it. Somehow he would just double his hustle. He will do more menial jobs for his family to be comfortable. He will do it. That's the nature of the Igbo man. But it's not enough, because if the Igbo man puts the same energy he puts in his personal business, in governance, in politicking, in electioneering, we would get good leaders that would now make the socio-economic plan or atmosphere of the region better. That would not now make us battle inflation or double our hustle for inflation. So it's a circle. We will not care about politics, we will not care about our leaders, but we will care about doubling our hustle to meet up bad policies that have led to hardship. But if we put our heads together and deal with bad leadership, we'll get reasonable leaders who would improve the economic stability of the region, of the country, and so we would no longer need to strain. All man would work diligently and earn a decent living and take care of the family. So I think we in the Southeast, in the Igbo, we need to be interested in national politics. We need to be interested. We need to come out.
Thank you for that. Ikugo for another thing na agba amobi ka metụta personally maka papa m last year. And come say imago anyị na-akwado inya ọtụtụ n'ime ndị oyi m nche ga-abịanwu onye kpara aka ọ sị gị hey na ọ ka achọkwa ịbịa o mana anyị adịrọ level that side emetolia kidnappers insecurity imago ọsị ama ọ sịrị ya so dịtị bịa gbawa ma obi ịnazi ụnụ abịa dịzi aka imago ịchọzi ị na-echewasị isi ị na-eche ka ihe ga-eme and unu adịkwa safe onwe ihe ga-eme unu na and ka anyị na-eto anyị na-ana n'ụlọ every Christmas.
Yes.
Adecheche.
No flight safe.
Adecheche, which flight?
Road transport.
I move time lụrụ anọ onye ọbụla tinye isi n'ụzọ a na-aga ebe a na-aga ịmago adeche ọ bụrụ ya na calculate a ga-eje ka ọ na-ame nje mana kịta before ịgbada ndịda a na-atụrụ ya plan kemgbe ị ga-eje ọ dịkwa safe ije ịnọ ịmapụ mmadụ ametọlụ gị ịmago so that is security bịakwa dịkwa ka osokwa eme this our situation affect maka I feel like investors oge socha n'ife ọ dịghị ka oge socha n'ife na-ene anya say bịa kama m ga-etinye isi ebe a ma pụtasị ka nje ebe ọ dị nka nje mpụtakwa as one whole human being yọta so ọ dịghị ka oso n'ihe kpata na ebe anyị si abịa ọ dịchara ka ọ kwesịrị ịdị.
Okay, ihe ngakwu that issue bụ na ihe nyere mme maka insecurity in the southeast the heavily politically motivated. And can I go and answer the truth? It's heavily politically motivated. If one distance, in the last 10, 12 years, the southeast has been one of the most peaceful regions. In the last 12, 15 years. One of the most peaceful. I know bandits, you know, kidnapper na southwest. So, Madagascar maybe call the even so that candidates east too they win. But no, that's not us. Like you said, mine will be the Ainega East every throughout secondary school and early university stage. In fact, going to the east was not a decision you had to make. It was a decision that it was a routine.
It was routine.
And we grew to now love it, to look for seeing our cousins and an end of the year football match and cultural festivals in the village. We loved it. In fact, men on university, Agam Ebonyi State University, from there, just Soropis Mass. We read Mass. That time we 1,015. So from there, now go home. We will meet you there. My brother on UNN that time. We are 2 of you. We finding your way there. Man, mother will meet you. That's how we spent our Christmas. Very interesting.
Very, very.
And my mother will cook. Small, and guess what? The car was not even so luxurious as the one we have now. Car will break down in Lokoja. We will fix. Continue.
And continue.
All my father wants to do is let's reach Obolafo. We went to reach Obolafo, 9th mile. He's at peace. He's fine. Anything else to happen should happen. Let the car park up. He's happy. We are in 9th mile when Obolafo. He's happy. Once the car now fixed again, we'll not enter tower. And when we enter tower, it is right tower. Nothing. Let heaven fall. We are already safe. No issue. But that is not the case now. Before Igaga even fly, I doesn't have airport. You land in Owerri or land in Port Harcourt or land in Oka. You use road. When you do that one, you now find police that will come and pick you from airport throughout your 2-day stay. Again, a police now because
the 5 million checkpoints.
Oh my God!
Checkpoint. Another one check. Yeah,
so the point of the matter is that let's start the truth. All the politically motivated. This is not us. We are not this kind of people.
And it's affecting our people.
Yes. Now the thing is, I expected the last set of governors that we had to start that move to curb things like this. I say, okay, can I make our own security outfits? Embargo. Whether the thing have head or it doesn't have head. Instant security network, whether it has head or it doesn't have head. But in the southwest, Melenkeha, and the late former governor of Ondo State was the chairman of that council, was the one who saw to it that Amotekun came to fusion. Kefe made that we and Amotekun recording progress and some results with some of their arrests and of things that they have stopped. Every made the Southeast own did not have head. Despite the last class of governors have met, they've transited. Okay, now we have new guys. So OT is new among the class. I think the older guys now, Bu Imo and Soludo, because Ebonyi, Enugu, and Oti are all new guys. What is the issue with sorting this matter out once and for all? That one, this guy's not a Finland, Simon Ekpa. Okay, he will be there giving orders. And I ask a question: is it that we are too small to write to Finland government? Can you that guy be here first? Let's come and let's talk first. Come and sit down here. Come and sit down here and know what you are doing first. So, and again, because it is not in our norm to be herd followers. We are not herd followers in the Southeast. But that's why we don't have a leader. Before you come and see something and we'll follow you, we have sat down and we have reasoned. We're not blind followers. We have sat down, we have reasoned it. And if we find a loophole in that statement, we will not follow. So I can't understand why Monica don't feel land, name me order, and some boys name me mayhem now. Southeast is not part of us. So I can tell you that also there could be an infiltration of people who are not in the Igbo. I can tell you from the standpoint of being a journalist who are focused on one or two things. There may be some infiltration of people who are not in the Igbo, starting from when Buhari became president, who are not in the Igbo. And yes, a few bad eggs among us who they have been able to convince and control to be part of their scheme and plan. But I do hope that this new sort of government, because the Southeast has more newer governors now. Like I said, the only two old guys are Soludo and Imo State. Abia has a new guy. Abia is new. Enugu is new, and Abia, Enugu, and Ebonyi are new guys. I think they should put their heads together and deal with this matter. Look at this Mazi Nambikano issue. I hear that they are having interest now in the matter to speak to the president to see how it can be released, whatever the issue is. Let's resolve this issue. When we resolve it, then let us talk about this insecurity issue. It's not bigger than us. It's not bigger than 5 Southeast governors who are chief security officers of their various states, who have who have security votes that they collect. Let's be fair. Let them think about these things, because it's like you said, it's affecting us. It's affecting us greatly. I mean, my father has been inviting me to the East. I have been thinking about it since. It's affecting us greatly.
You have spoken so well, and we're so honored to have had you in the studio with us today. I name Mechi. Manachomki Gwapang, in your own words, one last time, Imago, to encourage us. One you me as a people, Kediya kwesidi neme, to play our own parts in seeing that our people, our states, go through this underdevelopment and come out of it on the other side fully fleshed out, fully developed, and our states are states that we can brag about anywhere and anytime.
Okay, first thing I think we need to do is take seriously the development of our land as we take seriously our business. I mean, we need to take it seriously. A couple of years ago, when I was in university, I got Newi for one student conference, and the hotel I know Newi, I remember vividly. The hotel on a bad road, but I put in the morning now I got the venue of our conference. Even SUVs now put that from different compounds of that street. They say, one of these SUVs will grade this road.
Ima, not to cut you short, but Ima, I be coming in and the buying. This development is strange to us. I never question. You are never question. Yeah, on your bill low never. All child no in a killing it. You are if you are an amount that these days. So and imago ụfọdụ n'ime ha na-abịakwa ha emesa edozikwa ụzọ esi agabe ha na-emekwa what they can imago na contribute obele onye amete mmiri alọ tank na one village alụta obele school lụta obele ụlọọgwụ anyị na-agbani as a people anyị na-agbani mana we need more.
Yes, we need more.
We need to do more.
And it has to be deliberate. Kindly deliberate. Education, can he tear obu infrastructure can hit here, obu business growth. We have to be deliberate. But again, we can't take away the influence of the center. Yes. The influence, that is where whatever kind of money you have, if you don't have political power, you can still be affected negatively. So political power is very important. Now, we're not saying we must have the power. In other words, we are overdue for it. This country is overdue for an Igbo presidency. And I make bold to say on this platform that only an Igbo presidency would take Nigeria to a reasonable, I'm not saying heaven on earth, but I'm saying a reasonable place where all of us will agree that we are doing better. Only an Igbo presidency. Let's do what we can do. Let's do what we can do, but very honest. And also to our brothers in the Southeast, I think it's time we come together and enter alliances. We can't be kings all by ourselves in our own cocoon. No. It's time to come out. Let's look for alliances in other regions. Let's look for reasonable heads and make alliances with them. The honest truth is we can't lead this country with the way we are going. No. We need to move around. We need to make reasonable alliances. We need to make reasonable partnerships. We saw what happened in 2015. The only thing that took that presidency away from the South and took it to the North was because the Southwest entered a partnership with the North. And it was after you is me. It's a gentleman agreement. We need to think in that light. We need to start to think of alliances and partnerships. That's the only way. Because again, if an Igbo man has a good, for example, a ladies guy non local goma, this guy about Presebano, or maybe a very beautiful market na goma. But that road is very bad for many years. We have to all over the road. They in the celebration then fight here or trying the road where police gabia. The road of back and forth on the matter is road a bad thing. No! Why? Because actually meche remaining madu. Or made that road now a budget and somebody will not feast on that again. But you know, on a late business here, it will help people to approach their business and also go home quicker. After the back and forth, he was granted permission or made the road very smooth. Now there's now less congestion either on Sun City area or on ShopRite area. People now take that road for many years now. It has been going well. Now the issue is on we go or the way power. You see, we must balance both our resources and power. If not that, ego here maybe all my own people they now called and put mouth and the now resolved. So what I'm saying is, if we want to fix airports or fix seaports or do rail, if we do not have the political power to back it, you can't do it. With all your billions, it will sleep in your bank. You won't do it. Meanwhile, people will benefit. But because he lack the political power, we need not just will, we need that political power. Either a president that will be mild with us and allow us do what we want to do, or we enter an alliance and be in the center, and then do what we should do for the region. Apart from that, we will still struggle.
If we go ofuma, thank you very much. Because you have really spoken so well, and we're very grateful for having you here with us today.
Thank you.
Mana bifanya, onyo bana bieba, ibiarana, you're one of us. And before poor, igetu anyafa, mela cha Igbo kwenu. Or the very loud, yeah. Ndi no ezi hamia asindi Igbo no na this building.
Yes,
ma'am. Ngwano kaipo.
Che Igbo kwenu.
Hey.
Che Igbo kwenu.
Hey.
Ndi Igbo kwenu. Ni kwenu no.
Hey. Even love for my old dalu so ezigbo mmadụ.
Thank you very much.
Go for my ndi bayin dalu no. And we hope that we have been able to make good impact with this conversation. Continue the conversation with your family members, with your people, anywhere if you're only buying because bonitenya bo akụkọ ka na akpanya bo nkata maka ọsọ so otu a ka this good message ka si wee luo onye ọbụla ntị. ngwana ka ọ dị ka anyị afụrọ